one going back down is Rodan, and I'm going to say the other one, the Big Ten, I'm going to call that King Kong.
Okay, back to back to back. Massive jumps on this track and not too far from the start. And we're not too far from the start either. As the mechanics begin to move away, it's going to be rider versus rider, 40 of them on the gate, 30 minutes and 2 laps. This is our 250 Moto 2, and then the 450 class up next. That's Peyton Mim with the Fly Racing 30-second car. It's sideways. The riders focus on the gate. Lawrence, a good start, but I think he's going to get edged out for this Motorsport.com whole shot.
That looked like a Kawasaki up
Yeah,
front.
Shimoda, not known for his starts. The young rider out of Japan, who is second to the first moto today, has the early lead.
Justin Cooper, who had your whole shot in Moto 1, he's 4th.
We mentioned the good start for Jet Lawrence, but how about Ty Masterpool, the privateer, putting together his own program. 5th in Moto 1, and he is battling Lawrence for second here early in Moto 2.
This is quite possibly the best day of his career, starting out here as they come down this. And Shimoda, seems like every moto he gets a little better. He's not really taking any steps back, just getting better. Look, they've also worked on the track. So they've taken the heavy equipment out there, and in certain areas, they've smoothed it out, and it makes it a little chunky. A lot of like dirt clods, right? So track is going to be a little difficult in those sections until some lines get worn in.
So here it is, Jet Lawrence and now Justin Cooper together. Cooper made the move on Masterpool. So your 2 title contenders are 2nd and 3rd. The problem is in Moto 1, Cooper did not have the speed to match Lawrence. Can he do it this time?
Well, and it's a different mindset when you're chasing as opposed to being chased. And Cooper, who's always starting up front, he's always having to ride from the front. And let's see if this starting behind Jet Lawrence, if he can use that as some motivation, see him there, use that as the carrot dangling out in front of him, and see if he can do something with it. Because if Justin Cooper doesn't respond this moto, then he's not going to be a happy rider in the next couple of races.
Here's someone responding. Jet Lawrence is looking to make the move for the lead on Shimoda. These 2 guys are pretty good friends off the track. They came through the amateur ranks together, but it is man against man for the lead early in this race. Jet's looking for an opening anywhere against Shimoda. Shimoda able to hold him at bay on the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki.
See this fresh dirt here as you go through the starting line area and first turn area. No lines really grooved in yet there.
Now Shimoda, not known for his starts. Usually you don't see him anywhere near the front early in the race, and he slowly and methodically works his way forward. He had a pretty good start in Moto 1. Best race of the year for him. Even better here in Moto 2. But how long can he hold on? As we head to the Godzilla 50 feet uphill jump. And Shimoda still to the lead. And then they got to jump back down. We'll send it down to Ryan Dungey. What are you seeing, RD?
Well, Jed, he did exactly what he needed to do. Put himself in a good position, sitting in second. Looking like he's trying to make this pass here on Shimoda, but I love the fact that even with the championship on the line, he's racing every race to each of its own, and that's exactly what he needs to do. And there's not many young guys his age that are that mature at this level, so see if we can keep it going.
Well, it doesn't seem like that he's affected by the pressure, right? Kind of, just a sort of a free spirit, like doesn't really bother him, and it's certainly working to his advantage at the moment.
Yeah, that has always been the story about Jet, definitely known for some of his antics on the podium, but the team always says that's not pre-planned stuff. That's just Jet just does whatever he feels like doing, whenever he feels like doing it, and maybe that kind of atmosphere helps with title pressure on the line because he is riding free, loose, relaxed, whatever you want to call it, as he tries to get the lead from Shimoda. He's way down to the inside. Haven't seen that line much yet today. Let's see if it works. Set him up for the outside here. A good run into these sand rollers.
Yeah, he's got him as it coming to the inside here in this right-hander. But Shimoda used that second line last time. He uses kind of the third line out, and I like it. And he sets himself up good on the outside right here. Look how you carry just a tad bit more speed.
Shimoda's going to fight him off.
Is he going to hit the brakes and fly? He tries to.
Yeah, Shimoda tried to get on the brakes and tuck back underneath. So we got the 19-year-old out of Japan, the 18-year-old out of Australia. As I said, these two spent actually time as Honda teammates in the amateur ranks. They're really good friends off the track. Sometimes we'll have them in the post-race press conferences via Zoom, and they will be texting each other and making each other laugh during the press conference. Like we said, some free spirits out here, but it is serious racing at the moment between the two of them. Lawrence able to get the lead. Let's see if Shimoda can keep pace.
Well, and that's the last thing that Justin Cooper wants to see. He's the number 32 with the red plate. He's seeing more championship points get taken away from him. I really want to see if he can respond. The second motos have been tough for Cooper, and we've got 25 minutes plus 2 laps. See what he can do with it.
So Masterpool still running a Master Full ride in the number 4 spot. Then it's RJ Hampshire. Have not heard much from him today. Trying to rebound after finishing out of the top 10 in the first moto on that 24. That's the Rockstar Husqvarna. He has won a race earlier this year, so Hampshire's capable.
Well, Hampshire right now putting on a pretty good ride. He's put himself in a good position, but it seems like here in the maybe a quarter of the way through this championship, he was all out. I mean, he was all about fastest time. He didn't, and he went down so many times. He just kept falling down, pushing the limits, right? And it looks like he's pulled back a little bit now on that and tried to definitely trying to keep it on 2 wheels.
Shimoda is doing a good job. If you look at the box in the top, keeping Lawrence in sight. When Lawrence got the lead on Cooper in the first moto, he put the hammer down and checked out. Shimoda does not want to let that happen. As you watch this battle on the bottom between Hampshire, it's going to get to the inside here. Can Masterpool hold it? Masterpool going to have to run it really fast around the outside. Oh, wheel to wheel.
Nice move by Hampshire. That was so clean. He went through that turn. He was fully committed. Takes the position away from Masterpool. And I love the contrast of these 3 riders right here. So you got the veteran in Hampshire. You've got the privateer essentially in Masterpool. And just behind them, starting to creep up into the picture, is the rookie. He was an amateur a couple weeks ago. Levi Kitchen running 6th.
Look at Masterpool coming right back on Hampshire. And normally any privateer running well is a story, but especially in this 250 class, smaller motors, an absolute premium on power. And when you're down a few horsepower to the factory machines, it's hard to compete. But Masterpool, who was in the top 10 last week and is fighting for top 5 here, showing he can get it done. Now, he was once a prospect with the Star Racing Yamaha team, but he had some injuries and a rough season last year, and they let him go. That team was already packed with other amateurs on the pipeline, so he's trying to show these teams why they should pick him up. In the last couple of motos, he has been great. Meanwhile, it looks like Jet Lawrence has moved away just a tad from Shimoda. Justin Cooper in 3rd, needs every point he can get. Let's see if he can get to the number 2 spot. Oh boy, there was a foot off the peg for Lawrence before that big jump there.
Yeah, where they jump over that roller, that would not be a good place to lose your footing on the pegs and to hit that roller sitting on the seat. I promise you, things would go drastically wrong.
You know, that might be what Cooper has left to play for today. Just minimize the damage and then maybe hope for a break. I don't know if he's going to have the stuff to run Jet down. He has just been on fire since the first moment they let wheels on the racetrack today. And he's starting to get away from Shimoda now.
Well, and, you know, historically this summer, these second motos is where Jet's technique and his style has really been an advantage for him. And it's just moments like that where, you know, he's fast but loose, okay? And when you're fast but tight, when things like that happen, okay, you tighten up on the bike. He seems to stay loose, and he doesn't really let it affect him that much. And he gets a little out of shape at times, but really hasn't had any big moments, at least lately, that have or any cause for alarm, if you will.
Staying relaxed in the face of danger at times, and it's definitely working for him right now. He made that mistake we saw. Didn't affect him one bit speed-wise. Battle tightening. I think Cooper starting to get a hook into Shimoda. See the gap here.
You know, I've been watching these races all summer long, and there are so many turns where you see Jet Lawrence have his inside leg fall back by the rear axle, which is not at all how you would coach it. But it seems to work for him.
Fast but loose. Fast but loose. There you go. Cooper had closed right there. Almost was putting pressure on Shimoda, but that next couple of corners, Shimoda able to stretch that gap just a tiny bit. So we'll strap in for a big battle for second as Lawrence tries to get away. Go back to our helicopter shot to show you some of the gaps. Hampshire's about 4 seconds behind Cooper. He's got some work to do. Kitchen has now gotten around Masterpool, who's 6th. Then it's Voland, Mumford, Forkner, and Fry. Go full throttle with Wi-Fi speeds. We're celebrating fast internet for a faster everything. Can your internet do that? Check out Xfinity. We've got some speeds on the racetrack right now. Jet Lawrence, the red machine, getting away from Joe Shimoda on the green machine in 2nd. And then 3rd is Justin Cooper. We said at the top of this show, Jeff Emig, you thought the spoilers could shine today. They did take some points. They finished between Shimoda and Mosiman, between our championship contenders in Moto 1, Jet Lawrence and Justin Cooper. Shimoda, again, is in between them now.
Well, and those of you that watch Moto 1, I mean, of course, it was looking like Jeremy Martin on the Monster Energy Yamaha was going to be the spoiler who's going to take the win away. Obviously, he went down as we showed you. But now with Shimoda grabbing that whole shot and running in between your 2 points leaders can be that spoiler. But I really want to see Justin Cooper dig deep this moto. He's at least got to get a 2nd, but he just can't let Lawrence go this moto.
And then this battle, Hampshire, Levi Kitchen starting to find his form. This is the outstanding amateur in motocross this year. Won the AMA Nicky Hayden Horizon Award of the Amateur National, the Red Lanes Ranch, a couple weeks ago. 3rd race as a pro since then.
Well, and you talk about fast but loose.
Okay.
Levi Kitchen has this technique. He is off the side of the bike more than I think he's centered on the bike. He makes it work. He's a great kid. He's out of the Washougal area up there in Washington. Really a free spirit also. And I look for him to really start to put things together. And he backed off for just a second there. Maybe a new line choice. He was right on Hampshire. Dropped back just a couple seconds, but message him some on Instagram. He's like, man, I just need to get some better starts, right?
Yeah, he's had bad starts and then a lot of times gets caught up in accidents back there in traffic.
He just pulled off the track. Something happened.
Yeah,
he just pulled off the track.
Yes, that's not a mistake going off the track. He went off on purpose to the side. I don't know if he suspected a bike problem or what it might be.
It's just right here by our TV compound. That's going to give RJ Hampshire a little breathing room there because Kitchen was all over him, starting to put some pressure on. So Kitchen, as you can see, is dropping like a rock through the leaderboard.
And in motocross, you don't try to run it until it gives up the ghost, because if you get to the takeoff for one of these jumps and then the bike lets go completely, well, then you
no bueno.
Yeah, that's not good. So a lot of times if they sense something is amiss, they will end it right there. As we go back to this battle for the number 2 spot, Shimoda versus Cooper. We can show you Kitchen here again and his decision to go off course.
Okay, watch top of your screen right there. So watch right here. Lands off this jump, then he just makes a left instead of a right and goes off the track. But notice before that, when I said, wait a second, he backed off for a second. So he
even had his hand off the bar in that corner, but now we see him still running in 9th place. Did he gather it back up? Goes off the track, takes a hand off the handlebars.
I don't know.
Gets back to race pace.
I don't know. I've been around this sport for 45 years, but I can't explain that one.
Dylan Schwartz, who is a top 10 runner as of late on that Bar-X Chaparral Suzuki, he takes a pit stop. That's not normal in motocross. So not sure what happened to Schwartz. That'll drop him out of the top 20. Great day for Joe Shimoda so far. His career best was a 3rd in a moto until earlier today when he finished 2nd. He's trying to repeat that again, but he's going to have to deal with a ton of pressure because Justin Cooper needs every championship point he can get. He is going to fight Shimoda all the way to the end. But right now, the 19-year-old out of Japan looking for a career day. Back to Shimoda. Look at this. Cooper no longer lurking right there.
A little bit of a gap, couple seconds right there. That's going to give Joe, the number 30 here, Joe Shimoda, on that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, a little bit of breathing room. Not much, though. Problem is, Jet Lawrence is starting to check out, and we're only about 15 minutes through this moto, plus 2 laps to go. So still a lot of racing left. See Jet Lawrence just out of the right of your screen earlier.
Yeah, so now Joe no longer can see the leader. Still a great run by Shimoda. Hey, if you're going to say every week, I just need better starts, you better back it up when you get them, and he has. Started well in Moto 1, finished second, even better here in Moto 2.
I noticed over this jump down here, multiple times today, there's so much air time there that we've seen riders take a look back over their shoulder, completely comfortable, which is a pretty cool feature of this racetrack here. And even this next tabletop, I mean, look at this. He's hard on the throttle, just scrubbing it. There's a lot of air time there.
Wow, actually over jumped it a little bit, got all the way to the base of the landing. So Shimoda is going very quick right now as he's pulled away from Cooper. And looking at a 2-2 day, or if he gets a break from Lawrence, could even be an overall win. I'll tell you what, if you're this Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, you need anything, just something to go your way. Second place for Shimoda, they'd be happy with that. We're back, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, Ironman Raceway in Indiana. You're watching Joe Shimoda running second place at the number 30, Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Not able to keep pace with your race leader, Jet Lawrence, but it would still be the best day of his career if he can hold on to the second half of this moto. 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on your insurance with a quick call to Geico. And in 15 minutes, this moto will be complete. We'll see if Shimoda's able to stay on the podium. Started off well with our motorsport.com whole shot replay. You'll see it.
Well, you have to stay in it, and Joe Shimoda finally gets the start, just edges out. Jet Lawrence comes across the stripe for the motorsport.com whole shot. Watch right here, it's really close. And that looks like Masterpool on the inside there too. And I mean, fourth off the start for Justin Cooper. That's a bad start for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He had whole shots in more than half of the motos this year. So Shimoda, a good start. He's been saying all year, starts are the weakness. So as I was saying during the break, you got to back those words up. Oh, wait a minute. Cooper has been caught by R.J. Hampshire.
Yeah, this is not what he needed right now. He's going to have to dig deep right here and stay in it and try to keep his head. But you play-by-play guys give us a lot of grief talking about the key to the race to start. Everywhere Keto stays.
Kitchen, as expected now, into the mechanics area. We thought something might be amiss there, so we'll keep an eye on that as we watch this battle for third. All right, yes, the key to the race is normally the start. Give me something.
Yeah, and we're seeing here with Joe Shimoda that given the start, how he can perform, okay? And so I don't want to hear it anymore. No more grief about the key to the race. The first thing is the start.
Now, I'll counter. Okay. I'll give you like 30 examples. Ferrandis comes through the pack. Hey, here we go. This is not the day that Justin Cooper is looking for. Not able to keep pace with Shimoda, and now under fire from Hampshire. And I'll tell you what, it almost makes you wonder, to have this big of a drop-off, you have to wonder if maybe there is something ailing him or what it might be. He's just not quite been the same Justin Cooper all day long.
He's been off all day.
Yep.
In the first qualifying session.
Here it is, Hampshire down on the inside, Jeff. He's got it. And he's going to lose 2 more points. This is the points gap as they run. Turn that from 9 to 11 now, actually, because Hampshire has taken 2 more points away. And he's going to end up potentially 4-4 in the results.
Well, first qualifying today, he was 18th. And he didn't even log a good lap until late in the practice. So that I just can't help but think that there's something that the team and Justin have not told us. Maybe illness or injury.
Yep.
Something is just not right, because he has, this season, he has been spectacular, especially early in the day. And right now he's trying to hang on and grind it out for a 4-4.
This sport is so physical. To be at your peak for 12 Saturdays throughout the grueling summer months to avoid injury. A lot of time it's just fatigue. Certainly also illness is a problem when you're depleted as much as these riders will be at the end of a race day, and then they train very similarly during the week as they ride here on the weekends. And you're off by a small percentage in a championship fight that was this close coming in. It is going to show drastically, and that's exactly Well, could be the case for Justin Cooper. We're not sure what it is, but he doesn't appear to be the same rider today as he's been throughout the year.
Well, I was taking a look at the leaderboard there. You've got Max Vohland, who would be 5th. Right now he's about 8 seconds behind Cooper. Keep an eye on that gap.
There's Vohland with the orange handguards there, Red Bull KTM. Right, so that would be the next rider to try to steal points away from Cooper. 8 seconds is a nice gap to work with 10 minutes and 2 laps to go, though.
10 minutes still a long time on a day like today, because this is going to be the hardest 10 minutes plus 2 laps of the day. It's the hottest. It's really humid today. We saw even the riders that won the first motos, they seemed like they were really struggling, okay? And now this is the hardest part. The track is the roughest, hot and humid.
There's Masterpool still scrapping for it. He's got Austin Forkner, the rejuvenated Austin Forkner, who is now starting to stack up solid finishes moto after moto. Forkner in green on the Monster Kawasaki right there, trying to get to Masterpool. Whoa!
That was close. That was really close.
Hey, we could finally get some news here on this strange story with Levi Kitchen. Ashley, what have you found out?
Yeah, he was putting in a really good charge right there, and he came in and pulled off his goggles, and he was really squeezing his eyes and rubbing them tight. So they took a bottle of water and just rinsed out his eyes at that moment. I talked to the team afterwards. They said he had something in his eyes and he didn't feel safe out there or comfortable out there being able to push as hard as he was pushing, so he wanted to come in and get cleaned out. He's back out there riding now.
Wow. Yeah, so there's so much roost here today, and it's pretty rare. The goggle companies make incredible goggles these days, but once your eyes are watering and sweat, dirt, something like that gets in there, okay, and you can't see. I mean, this is not the sport that you want to be doing if you're trying to blink and you're trying to clear your eyes, but you just can't see. Definitely the safe move was to pull into the mechanics here and get your eyes cleaned out.
Good to see Kitchen getting back out there. Again, he's fresh to the pro ranks, so he wants as much experience as possible, exactly. So he'll still complete this moto, even though he's way back in 25th. RJ Hampshire making a run. There's a lap rider between Shimoda there and then Hampshire. So Hampshire wants to go for the number 2 spot now. This is much more of the type of performance we expect from Hampshire, who is out of the top 10 in Moto 1. But he has found the flow now.
Yeah, and last lap around, Hampshire was at a 2:02.4. Shimoda was a 2:03.7, so about a second and a half a lap quicker Hampshire is. He is definitely closing the gap, and this is when he really starts to shine, when the track's the roughest, when it's the hottest late in the motos, and he just has that ability to let it hang out, where Joe Shimoda is much more calculated, very smooth, doesn't really take any chances. So you're seeing 2 different types of riders here come together at the end of this race. We've got 7 minutes plus 2 laps. We'll see if Joe can hang on for another second.
Yeah, really interesting when you ask Joe, the rider that he looks up to the most as a youngster. He picks Justin Barcia, who races in the 450 class and is known as one of the most aggressive, wild, let it all hang out type of riders. And Joe says he likes that because that's not his style, and he wants to try to get a little more of that aggression. He even said before the season, Shimoda, the goal is to make mistakes, to ride out of your comfort zone. You don't often hear that from riders.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I feel like I was definitely that type of rider where you're Barcia, or I mean, even if you go back to like Rick Johnson or Bob Hanna, they were famous for just being, you know, if they needed to click an extra gear and let it hang out, they could do that. A guy like Joe, he's only going to push that speed during the week. Little by little, he's going to get better and better.
Yep.
You're not going to see him break out in one moto and just be the wild child, right?
Hey, he's responded to the pressure. Also in this exchange through lap riders, he's pulled back away from Hampshire a bit. Hampshire was right there, and now you see there's a little gap again. So it's coming together for Joe, but Hampshire, he will not give up on it. We'll take you back. It looks like they just lapped Kitchen, by the way. You can see out there.
All right, let's see. This is Forkner on the inside of Masterpool. Oh, gives him a little attitude. Just completely looking over at him.
Wow.
Sizing him up, making sure that Masterpool couldn't come back, across the inside, his left side. So that puts Forkner up to 6th.
Now, you wonder if there's 2 sides to that story. It often happens, right? Someone does something, and then you only see the retaliation. I don't know if Forkner was starting it there or if Forkner was ending it.
Finishing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But either way, Forkner is starting to show some signs. But no one has anything for Jet Lawrence on this day. Fastest in qualifying and looking for the 1-1 sweep here at Ironman Raceway. So is this the moment for Jet Lawrence? Is this where he finds that next level and sets himself up for a stretch run and pulls away from Justin Cooper? Or is it just one great weekend? Certainly he's going to have some confidence heading into our final 2 rounds. We'll see how it turns out.
Oh, yeah, he's been spectacular here today. And normally you don't see him as fast as qualifier.
That's right.
Justin Cooper's earned 7 of those, 7 of 9 coming into this.
Jet only had 1 before today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and here's that battle for second between Joe Shimoda and R.J. Hampshire right here. And just when you thought that Hampshire was going to drop off the back, nope, he's still right there, pressing Shimoda. And Shimoda's trying to earn a career best. If he goes 2-2, that's his best finishes ever.
That's right. He had a podium at Southwick, but the moto scores were not this strong. Let's see, though, if he can hold on for the second place spot, because the always attacking R.J. Hampshire is there again. I'm going to say one other thing about Hampshire. The dude's got to be in shape, because when you ride as hard as he does, you don't see him fade in the motos.
Yeah, I remember back in the days, people talking about, well, who's in the best shape? Well, it's Jeff Stanton or Mike Kudrowski or whatever. I'm like, have you ever seen Guy Cooper ride? Ride like that for 35 minutes twice a day, not counting practice. Cooper's in the best shape of anybody out there.
Yeah, as Hampshire just lets it hang out, and this might be enough to make the pass on Shimoda. It's way down on the inside. That's a long straightaway. We have seen passes made there, and it's happened again.
That was a nice move.
And a good effort to get that gap back on Shimoda. So he had to make some ground up for a second time, and he did it. The drive for the playoffs ends in the place where anything can happen and anyone can win. The NASCAR Cup Series closes the regular season on the high banks of Daytona. That is tonight, 7 Eastern, only on NBC. Speaking of NASCAR, our buddy Ricky Carmichael will be in the booth for the Xfinity race in Darlington next weekend. And he's also going to take the NBC race car, out on the track. Fro, I know you're a little worried about this. Does he know what he's doing? I know he's done some NASCAR racing, but still.
Yeah,
Can RC handle it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's got it handled, for sure.
Oh,
I mean, he's got one of those simulators. I'm sure he's already driven 1 million laps, right, on this.
First time you've ever been set up to throw shade at RC and you didn't take it. Unbelievable. Battle is on our hands. R.J. Hampshire has taken the spot from Joe Shimoda, but Shimoda has ramped it back up and is going right back after him.
Watch Shimoda down the inside right here. If he stays committed, he can pull it off.
Oh! Almost wheel to wheel, actually side by side again. So Hampshire, after he closed the gap and made the pass, I thought this one was over, but Shimoda won't give up.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's see if Joe can make the move.
Tree turn, there's only one line through here, but it will open back up as they get to this right-hander. Shimoda going to choose the outside. And a lap ago, it was this long straightaway that's coming up where Hampshire was able to get around him, and Shimoda's right there again.
Shimoda, yeah, now they both kind of bounce it a little bit. Stay even. The key to this whole straightaway is that first, this roller over that hump. And if you can get over that clean and carry your momentum. I also want to point out, look down here, TJ Rios. He was an amateur 2 weeks ago. He's running 17th, and I believe he was
right around that. I think it's a little bit better. Yep. On the Manlock Racing Merge Rock River team. We can show you, by the way, how Hampshire got Shimoda to move into the number 2 spot. This is while we're away at break.
Down through that same section, just carried a little more momentum. What I was just talking about. Such a long straightaway with so many jumps, and gets to the right side of Shimoda and then controls that inside. Puts him into second.
As these two push each other, and I mean it, they are really on the gas. They have left Justin Cooper long behind. That's not what Cooper wanted to have happen. Sometimes guys get into a battle, they slow each other up. Instead, I feel like they've ratcheted the pace. They're actually 8.9 seconds behind Lawrence, so not a massive lead for Jet. Jet has proven pretty smart this year about not trying to win the motos by massive gaps. He tends to manage the situation well. But these two, you get the feeling it's going to go all the way down to the wire. It's going to be really close to timing. See the countdown clock top left of the screen. When that expires, it's 2 laps to go. I don't know if Jet Lawrence, the leader, is he going to get to the finish line before or after time expires?
We're going to have 2 laps.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're only halfway through this lap. He's not too far ahead of these guys. All right, so it should be 2 to go. Next time around, Shimoda versus Hampshire. Now, Hampshire was 13th in Moto 1, so he's still not going to finish on the overall podium today. Shimoda is looking at second overall. We combine the two motos. Best result of his career, even if it ends like this, for Joe.
Yeah, no doubt. He's put in a great ride, and he's got to feel good about grabbing the whole shot, too. Something that he's getting better at, like I mentioned earlier, is that, you know, Shimoda hasn't had any real spikes in his career. He's just had this nice linear trajectory to his success.
Now, in contrast, it's Austin Forkner here, who many years ago won his first national at this track. Really thought he was going to be the next superstar of the series. He has been fast at times. He's also been injured at times. In a rebuild process right now and starting to show some of the old signs. Going after Max Vohland, and he ripped fifth place away.
It just baffles me that these riders, they aren't just riding the full right side entering that section. The only way that you can get over that little roller is as far to the right as possible, and you leave the door open. The other rider clears that, carries some momentum, sets him up on the inside.
This battle will not end. 2 to go. You have the ultra-smooth Shimoda, the ultra-aggressive Hampshire. It's worked out almost identical in pace. Hampshire was able to catch him, but since then, Shimoda has not let him go.
And Shimoda's got a few lines that work better for him. Hampshire is leaving the outside, taking the outside, leaving the inside open, but Joe just can't seem to make something happen. But a day like this, you just got to think that Joe's got something a little extra. He's feeling good. It's just a fantastic moto for him.
Yeah, he is definitely applying pressure to Hampshire, who's been running this wide outside line. Oh, and he almost lost traction on the entrance. Able to hold on to it, though, this time is Hampshire. Now watch this outside line from Shimoda. He gets a ton of drive for this next jump.
Yeah, he has been working that outside the entire moto. The inside has actually gotten a little bit better. It did have a big hook in it, and it was causing the riders to lose a little momentum trying to come out of the turn. Now it seems like that rut has changed, and it's evolved as this moto's gone on. That inside's definitely a good line.
Now they have to deal with lap traffic, and that almost caught Hampshire. See if Shimoda can take advantage. As you see the battle up on top as well. That's your leader, Lawrence. And then this battle, Shimoda was not able to close despite the lap traffic for Hampshire.
I mean, there's a lot of lapped riders right now. This is a tricky time, and you have to predict, try to anticipate where the lapped riders are going to go, inside or outside. And if they're occupying the main line, you may have to take a line that you haven't taken all day. Little mistake right there. That's going to allow Joe to close back up a tad bit. And so when you haven't taken a line, let's say that it's got a big, acceleration bump or something in it that you're not ready for, you have to try to anticipate that.
You'd love to see this. There's really not a lot on the line here. Shimoda's going to finish second overall for the day no matter what happens. And Hampshire, it's not going to really affect his overall either. They're just racers. And it's hot and humid today. It's rough, and they are full send mode on the final lap of the day.
Let's see. Look at Joe. He's been riding this middle line. Yeah, there he goes. Doesn't double out right there, but he stays down the right-hand side, which seems to be a little bit flatter. Maybe you can carry a little bit more momentum.
Lap traffic is still slowing Shimoda, and Hampshire's getting away.
Well, and your leader's 9.2 seconds out, and Hampshire's really having to work for this second place in this moto if he can hang on.
Oh, there's your leader. So Jet Lawrence was the points leader after he won round one, held the lead for the first 5 rounds. Justin Cooper took it over for the next 4. Today, the coveted red plate belongs to the series leader is going to change hands.
What a day he's had. So all year long, these riders, somebody's been trying to go 1-1. Nobody's been able to do it until today. And Jet Lawrence, look at that. Even the final lap.
That might have been the best we've seen him through there.
Yeah.
It was that jump that helped unlock the day. That's where he made the move on Justin Cooper in the first moto. He has not been headed since there. And the 18-year-old Australian, he's doing it on 2 fronts. He's popular. The fans love the personality. They give away donuts because he's self-admitted donut lover. The merchandise is selling like hotcakes. But he also said at the beginning of the year he wants to prove He's fun off the track, but he is a serious trainer. He is serious about his results, and he proved it today. He needed the 1-1. He gets the 1-1. Jett Lawrence has taken the points lead and the race win here at Ironman Raceway.
Wow, that was a dominating day. You see him right there. He is so pumped right now. I cannot wait to hear this podium interview.
And they came across the line. Hampshire withstanding the pressure from Shimoda to take the number 2 spot. Shimoda will end up 3rd in this moto. He was 2nd in Moto 1. That will be good enough for 2nd overall. And look at the disappointment. Justin Cooper, 4-4, going to hand over the points lead. And you could see the body language when he came through. If he's ailing from something, it's a good salvage ride to go 4-4. If not, he is not going to be happy with the performance. He just didn't have an answer for Lawrence on this day. But nothing stays the same in motocross. We're going to California and Fox Raceway for the next round. And we'll see if Jett Lawrence can continue this run or if Justin Cooper can figure something out. And by the way, Jett Lawrence, last 2 times we raced at Fox Raceway, he has won. So that track is good for him. Strength to strength, as we say, for Jett Lawrence. There's his agent, Lucas Myrtle. There's Caleb Mead from the Honda team, already helping with the cool down.
He doesn't look nearly as depleted this
You're right.
moto, right?